All right, what is good, guys? We are back. Let me go ahead and move this over here. Let's just get straight into it. Today is Friday the 9th. I did not actually take a trade today. I ended up skipping out on it, but you can see I have this one marked out. I'm gonna go into this was like really the only setup I would have taken today. It did end up playing out, but let me go over real quick now why I didn't take this. So going into market open, simply I was extremely bearish. Like I wanted to see us take out these London lows, Asia lows. We also had previous day lows below us. We had these high time frame SMTs at these daily highs, and then also at these kind of like 1 hour highs over here. We've since taken them out now, but at the time we were SMTing all of these highs just like this. After touching into this 4 hour, here I'm going to delete this too so it's easier for you guys to see. But after touching into this 4 hour gap on NASDAQ, we rejected heavily. On the 15 minute, if we zoom in even more, we also respected this 15 minute. Let me rewind. This is market open. I even was thinking, since we inversed this 15 minute right here, that I could just long or short off the open and just try to take it straight down to London lows, which would have hit if you had gone to London lows. But I'm not really that kind of trader to just kind of just jump in a trade whenever for no reason. But what do we see, right? So we come down. We did initially sweep out London lows on NASDAQ while ES was staying up here. So we initially had this SMT at the lows, but we come back up. I wanted to see if ES was going to close in this 4 hour, which was one of the main reasons why I also didn't take this trade, is because ES did not respect this 4 hour while NASDAQ did. We still had this SMT up here at all these highs, and we were still accumulating and creating good price action. So at the time, before this I was still looking for shorts. I wanted to see us perfect line. We were accumulating all of this liquidity. I wanted to be very patient because I didn't see anything up here that I really liked. There was no good inversion, like no really good inversion that would just send us lower with some good manipulation. So I wanted to first wait for a good manipulation and then a good distribution. So I'm waiting. We are creating SMTs at all these highs. Now, why do I not take it? Let's first go over some of the good things about this trade. What's some of the good things? Is that at the time on NASDAQ, we're rejecting out of this 4 hour gap up here. We retraced into a 15 minute. We also are rejecting off of that. We're generating low resistance liquidity at these lows while creating an SMT at the highs here. We're creating an SMTs at the highs here. So we have a lot of SMTs at the highs going on. We also have this PO3. So we opened up here. We at first made this one candle lower, but we made this top wick right here and then distributed down. We also created an SMT at this high. But what did I not like about this trade and what prevented me from entering it? Well, number one, we did have already sweep out these London lows and had an SMT here. Although I definitely would have still took a short if we had gotten a correct inversion or a correct setup here, but we didn't. So that's one reason that kind of pushed me a little bit away. But the main is these three. And number one, that starts with the 30-second close. So I'm going to go over here to Tradevate. I will take trades off the 30-second. This is, let me make sure this is the right time. 10:04, 10:05, yep. So we had this 30-second close here at 10:03. But in this gap, let me see if I can draw on here. This 30-second gap right here, you can see that we barely close below it, or like we don't really, like we close almost right at it. Since I don't usually draw on Tradevate, me putting my cursor right here, I was kind of like, well, we kind of closed right at the gap. And then right after that, we made a doji. So maybe if we closed at it and then closed below it after, I would have entered. Or if we closed all the way through it down here, I would have entered. But the way we closed at it and then made this doji on the 30-second, I didn't like. On the 1 minute, we did have this change in the state, which would have been my entry had I actually entered this trade. But also, what else do we have? On the 4 hour, yes, we respected it on NASDAQ. Yes, we respected the 15-minute on NASDAQ. But on the 4 hour for ES, we actually closed above this gap. So we inversed this 4 hour gap on ES. And the last reason was since I was mainly looking at this 30-second gap to enter off of and we didn't get it, by the time we got this change in the state here, you can see that on ES we had already swept out these lows to the left of us. So this was the current SMT that I would have entered off of had I entered at this line. Which to me, entering here when we put in a fresh SMT where we could manipulate doesn't make any sense to me. Because think about it like this. If we're not going to go to these London lows, right? What if we just sweep from right here? This is an open low for 10 a.m. We make an SMT at all of these lows after we already swept out London lows. And then we're going to go higher because ES is extremely bullish, which after this setup played out, we actually did almost go straight up. Child around, but we just pushed right after. So really, if you wanted to, sweep of Asia lows after London. ES did not take Asia lows, so we have an SMT here. Is there a 2-minute gap? There is a 2-minute gap that we can enter off of. 3-minute. So really, if you're looking for a long, I mean, you could have entered up here. You could have gotten a better fill if you entered on the 1 minute right here on this very first inversion, which I wouldn't recommend just because there was no like, even in this 3-minute, 2-minute, there's not like a good, well, on the 3-minute, I would say the 3-minute is probably the best entry here. 3-minute, stop at the low, but like TP where? You don't really get a good risk to reward unless you target these highs and then just go for a 1-to-1. Which if you had enough conviction in some of these highs or you're looking for price up here, maybe you were looking for ES to take out this SMT. But for me, I was really just looking for these lows. I was thinking if we did take out these lows and we continued lower, I would be probably taking a trade to previous day lows. But after pumping up, I was like, all right, let me just get off. I'm going to just make this video real quick. But that's really it. The trade I would have took today would have been right here. Let me put it in. Changing the state on the 1 minute. Stop at the high right here with the SMTs. TP at Asia lows. You could have TP'd also at this London low right here. And you would have got pretty much, or not London low, but this low that swept out London low. And you could have got pretty much a perfect 1-to-1. Like 1 point off of that stop, but it's pretty much just a 1-to-1 here. But if you're going to take this trade, you might as well just hold to Asia lows. They're right there for NASDAQ. NASDAQ is easily going to push that low. But honestly, especially after the week I've had, which on this account, on these Lucid accounts, has been a good week. I'm up in PNL. I kind of held my losses very small, made that big win yesterday. I didn't really want to risk anything crazy, especially with a trade that has this much confluence kind of going against it. I just didn't like it. Also, I've passed 2 Apex accounts. So you can only see one right now. If I go over here, dashboard, I have 1 PA, which just means past funded. Active evals, I have a bunch of them. But if I go to the eval chart, you can see this one is since passed. I won another trade on this one, so now I have 2. So I'm going to be slowly trying to pass these Apex accounts in the background while I'm also trading these Lucids. And then eventually, once I have all these Apexes passed or failed, as far as the evals, I'm going to switch and then trade all of them with very low risk, just kind of moving into that, like, let me actually get to trading instead of worrying about risking higher, risking different amounts, or trying to pass an eval and fail an eval and this and that. I want to just get to the point where I'm okay, risking low, I'm consistently drawing small profits, payout, profit, payout. Low, like risking like 250 per account or something like that, or like 300, something like that. But as far as today, pretty clean. If you took this is kind of clean. I'm not gonna lie. It's not a bad trade by any means. It's just those slight things. I wanted if I was gonna take a trade today to be perfect. I wanted it to be perfect just because we have all this news. Today is like, it's a Friday, which I'm used to losing on Fridays because Fridays is usually extra volatile. So I really just didn't want to hop in anything I didn't truly want to be in. But besides that, guys, share y'all trades down below. Like the video if you liked it, dislike it if you didn't like it. Tomorrow I'm going to be posting a psych video just of me just yapping, chilling, talking about my mindset. and then Sunday I'll have the weekly recap up, going over like all these trades and then my psychology over the past week, going into next week. But I hope y'all have a wonderful weekend. Peace.